Nurses that haven't been able to dial in today can watch it at their own convenience. So we're just going to do a quick round of introductions. So the people that have dialed into us will recognise most of our faces on the call because we came out and visited you at your wonderful colleges in India. So my name's Carly and I'm the pastoral lead nurse for the Alliance, and I'm going to go over to Tracy.
Hello everybody, wonderful to see you. I'm Tracy Collins. I'm the Head of International Nursing and Workforce. So I'm sure I met most of you in India a few weeks ago. So fabulous to see you on the call.
Thanks, Tracy. And Emily?
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Winslow. I am the International Recruitment Team Leader with the Alliance, and likewise I met some of you in India, so it's good to see you again today.
Thanks, Emily. Laura?
Hi everyone, my name's Laura Travers. I'm the Project and Pastoral Facilitator for the Devon Alliance. It's nice to see you all.
Thank you. And Reema, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi everyone, my name is Reema Andrade. I've been working in the United Kingdom for around 3.5 years now. I've been the first cohorts who had been recruited in the Royal Devon, which was Northern Devon earlier, but we've obviously merged and it's Royal Devon now. So yeah,
Lovely.
it's really interesting to share my journey with you.
Lovely. Thank you, Reema. And we'll be coming back to you shortly. And then Anand. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Anand, and I believe we met during the seminar last time. So happy to see you all.
Lovely. Brilliant. Thanks, Anand. And Anand, could you give us a wave of your snow globe?
Yes, why not?
He's got a London snow globe. There we are. Excellent. Brilliant. Thanks, Anand. That's great. Okay, so so Reema's joined us from one of our hospitals in Devon, and I'm going to hand over to Reema shortly to talk about her journey to Devon in the UK a few years ago, before COVID, before the world went mad, and she's going to talk about her experiences and give you some advice and top tips for those of you that are interested in coming to work in Devon with us. So, Reema, tell us about your journey from the beginning.
Oh, so it has been really, really interesting. Carly was the first person I met when I came in here, isn't it? I saw Carly and Tracy, and you were our biggest supporters here. Kind of, you helped us into, gluing into the system. So it was hard, wasn't easy. So as we have to leave our families behind, the little ones, and I have never been out of the country before. So, although I was born in a different country, was brought into India a long, long time ago, and my parents raised me in India. But then all my schoolings and studies and everything until I married and got a kid, I was in India. So I was really, really very attached to home, to my parents, and I'm a very homely person. I don't like going out. And this was a big step that I took. I had taken it for some reasons. Uh, Career development. I was bored with what I was doing actually. So yeah, I wanted to experiment new things. I wanted to explore new horizons and see what UK has to offer me. So I took that brave step. The first step, completing my English exams, doing my CBTs and everything, all tick, 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 tick. And then luckily, I was interviewed by the Yeovil Trust, which had then recruiting people to the Southwest earlier, which is now been, I mean, you guys are doing it, isn't it? So yeah, earlier it was Yeovil. And I didn't know anything about the place. I didn't know because I had no contacts here and I didn't know anyone here. So it was kind of very scary. of course, people are not scary because I was scared. I'm coming to a complete unknown place and I need to do some research. So Google was the best thing. So I started researching through Google, looking at the climate, the weather, the living conditions and the cost of living, actually. Yeah. I found Southwest is one of the best place to live. Yeah, and yeah, I had offers from few other trusts, which I happily declined for coming into this trust. And I must say, I don't regret this. I don't regret doing this decision. I'm really happy where I am. I love this place. It is beautiful. I've made it my home now, and I'm so happy. I can't tell you how happy I am. So yeah, the first step was scary, was hard, was difficult, wasn't easy getting onto that plane.
Yeah.
But once I was here, I was very well supported. Yeah, people look after us really well. And I must say, everybody's so kind, so humble, and so supportive. I haven't seen that in my own country. I'm really sorry. I don't want to, yeah, give a wrong information to anybody. But yeah, I was treated really very well here. Yeah, and
Absolutely, Reema, and I know that you've done really well in terms of your career development since you've been in Devon. Am I right in thinking you arrived, you passed your OSCE and got your PIN number, and then started at a band 5, and you're now a band
six,
6?
yeah,
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 6. So
yeah.
you've done very well indeed to do
Well,
that
that,
career progression.
yeah. Thanks, Carly. Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, it wasn't easy though because as soon as I landed here, COVID happened. The
Yeah,
next month, yeah, I mean, I was supposed to write my OSCEs in April, but then there was the country went to complete lockdown in April,
yeah,
and we everything was stopped. There was no
yeah.
OSCEs, there was no
Mm.
testing, there was right. Only things that were open was Tesco's.
Yes,
Yeah, that
that's
was our
right.
happy space. We used to just go to Tesco's, buy some groceries, come back home. The parks were open, but everything else, and that was most disappointing thing that had
Yeah,
happened because we were stuck in a country that we
yes,
didn't know people, and we had come with a cohort. Our cohort had around like 9 people,
yeah,
and we sticked on with each other, and
yes.
we helped each other, and we were our greatest support system here. So
Absolutely, and I
yeah,
remember it well. I mean, you arrived right just before COVID pandemic, and
yeah,
my goodness, that it's it's never heard of that we had this global pandemic in the NHS and the first ever pandemic.
yeah.
And you'd literally arrived. So it was particularly difficult for you because um, you've been taken to a new country and you were away from your families, and there was no way of getting home during that pandemic.
No, no way. So when I missed my 3-year-old kid then, couldn't,
Yes.
yeah, it was hard. But when the first flights opened, that was around October 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took that first flight back home just to
Yes.
see my
Absolutely.
kid. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And my managers
Absolutely.
were so kind, so kind. They gave me off for like 15, 20 days so that I could meet
Yes.
my family. Yeah,
Yeah, and the NHS would not have survived without you and your fellow international colleagues coming to work with us. We would not have got through the pandemic at all. So we can never thank you enough. But so your start was very unusual, and all the other nurses that arrived in the UK at the same time. But can you take yourself back to 2020 when you first arrived, and
hmm,
the sort of it was an unusual journey for you because of the pandemic, but
yeah,
normally you would have arrived and done your OSCE training,
yeah,
got your PIN number and all
yeah,
those sorts of things. Would you, and now you're supporting other international nurses going through the same pathway.
yeah.
What advice would you give to people that are leaving India for the first time, like you did, and coming over to work in Devon?
Well, first thing is you need to be ready emotionally, psychologically thinking, yeah, I'm going to do this. If you're leaving your kids behind, if you're leaving your family behind, you need to be ready for this. So you need to, have that mindset and take that brave decision what you're going to do. Because when you come in here, when people come in, they have a lot going on, and they'll have a very tedious, you know, weeks ahead, or probably months, until they finish the OSCEs, because OSCEs have ever become very difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, it was 6 stations when I came in, but they have added 4 more stations, and they're just bit complicated. But it's
Yes.
easy because you give a very good training here. We've got 3 weeks intensive training for OSCEs,
Yeah.
and yeah, we do support everybody throughout that process.
Yeah.
And once they are through, they are all obviously on supernumerary period, and they are working and they are paid. So they are
Yeah.
paid during those times until they finish the OSCEs and get the pin. So very well supported, and we will look into their rosters to alter the timings, so that they can come into the study sessions if they have to practice OSCEs. So that's all very well looked after.
Brilliant.
But yeah,
Thanks, Reema.
getting
And
through it is their thing, and they need to have that strong mindset.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, and that real focus, isn't it, to get through the OSCE pressures. But a lot of our nurses that will be watching are just thinking about doing their English.
Yeah.
So obviously, as someone who's passed their English exams and is now absolutely fluent, and able to converse with, the accent in the UK and different nuances that we have, what would your recommendations be to those nurses?
Oh, I'll watch a lot of English movies, I would say.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, start watching Netflix for good.
Yeah.
There are good series.
Yeah.
Yeah, and read newspapers, magazines, talk to people in English,
Yes.
because that's the only language that you hear here.
Yes.
Because you need to talk to people. People wouldn't, you can speak to your friends in your native language, but when you talk to your patients and your colleagues, it's the only language that we follow here. So you need to have a good hold of it. But people are really nice. They do understand, if even if you're slow, if you don't have that accent, they don't they don't really mock you for that. And I speak okay. I don't speak really well English, so my
Yes,
English
you
is
do.
it's just okay. I do understand. I do, communicate. So I'm just on that. But if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Lovely, thank you. So, how would you describe the NHS, the National Health Service? So, I know a lot of when we visited the colleges, a lot of the nurses were aware of the NHS in itself. So, I think there is, as part of the course content in student nurse training in India, maybe the NHS is covered, but there was a very basic understanding of the NHS. So, what would you say about the NHS as someone who now works for them?
Oh, well, I don't know if people are being taught about NHS in India, because I didn't have a clue when I was coming in here. I didn't know what NHS was until I started, working for NHS. But it's one of the best healthcare systems, I may say, throughout the world, and no other countries in the world are providing free healthcare to their people. So coming to UK, being a part of this healthcare system, you and your family are entitled to free healthcare. And I
Yes.
would say, yeah, there are problems. I wouldn't go through it, because you've got a huge population, you've got a huge, list of people who need to certain things. But yeah, absolutely, NHS is one of the best healthcare ideas that is still, I support NHS, so I want it to still, go through and have a free healthcare for everybody.
And do you feel supported working in the NHS?
Of course, yes. As a, yeah, obviously, yes, of course. With the as a healthcare worker here with the NHS, I'm really supported very well. And I feel, because one of the things that I have noticed is, earlier days when nurses used to come to UK to work, they used to pay immigration health surcharge, that
Yeah.
would be some thousands of pounds
Yeah.
for them and their families. But with COVID, one good thing happened was they took that off. And so
Yeah.
now every international nurse or any international healthcare worker who comes to UK to work, and for them and for their families, NHS provides free health care.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good.
And actually, we're all users of the NHS, aren't we?
Yeah,
And you know, I know even with current pressures, it's quite remarkable, the National Health Service, that
yeah.
you know anyone can go and receive care, and it's free, you know, because the way that the government funds it is through people's taxes, which is another subject. But it's actually, how have you found the NHS as a patient?
Well, touch wood, I have never used NHS as a
That's
patient.
great. That's the right answer. But it's
I
there
have
if you
never,
need it.
but it's there if I need it. I've been getting letters from my GPs, but
Yes.
yeah, they wish. I mean, I think that they must be really surprised to see I don't have any, touch wood. I don't want any of the health problems. But yeah, I haven't accessed. I've accessed NHS only once. That was for the dental care.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Excellent.
yeah,
No,
it's just for the
that's
dental care, but that was quick. I had a very bad toothache last month.
yeah.
Wasn't able to eat or drink.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, so it was really terrible. I lost a part of my tooth
Yeah.
eating some nuts. But yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, for you. And
Yeah.
what would you say? So what would you say the main differences are in working in healthcare in India to working in healthcare in the NHS in the UK?
Plenty. So let us put it this way. If I've been offered a job back in India, I wouldn't go.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't take it. No. So there are first thing is the job itself is really good. Although the workload is heavy, I would say that the workload is really heavy compared to the workload that you get in India.
Okay.
But the satisfaction that you get through your work, and you know, everybody respects you, and you're equal here, and everybody is treated equally.
Okay.
So there's no discrimination,
Right.
and you're not shouted at, or you're not demotivated. Well,
Yeah.
there are in India, sometimes I'm not demotivating that. I mean, I'm not gonna project, negativities, but there are, cultures where, nurses are not considered, or they are considered to be lower than the doctors, which
Yes.
is true, which is true. So they say, even the doctor says something, they are right. You're not going to answer back to the doctors.
Right.
Yeah. But here, if I find my patient is in trouble and if the doctor is taking a wrong decision, and if I go and tell the doctor you are doing it wrong, they will accept it,
Yeah.
and they'll not, they'll just not demotivate us, or they'll not shout at us. So I have found that, yeah.
And you've obviously been given that support and confidence to be able to make those challenges to doctors.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yes. And everybody here, they do support. I mean, we've through the trainings, through the, I've been supervised at my work. I've been given supernumerary periods even to take charges on a shift. I've been handling very big units on my own
Yeah.
before I came into this role.
Yeah.
Um, so I have been like dealing with consultants and who are on a really, really very high level, and with, junior doctors. Everybody treats you really well.
Yeah. And
So
it's really encouraging to hear that, because
yeah,
you know we absolutely we are all equal in the healthcare system. We will work as a team, and that's
yeah,
how it should be.
yeah. That's why I always say, if this system gets to India, probably I would go back
Oh
to work.
yes.
But yeah, until that happens there, I'm not going back.
No, absolutely. That's good. So I know you've got your family and that are with you now in Devon.
Mhm.
And how has it been, bringing your child and husband over from India and living here as a family? How is Devon for a
Uh,
family?
well, it's a bit complicated, Carly. Well, because my husband works um, for a very good hospital in India.
Yeah,
So, and he's at a very good position. He doesn't want to come here and start over.
yeah,
So we've got that understanding between us. So he stays in India, he lives there, he works there, and he
yeah.
comes over during his vacations. Most of the times he works there and then comes over here for 3 or 4 months. But I've
Yes.
got my kid here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's living with me, and I've got a good support system. Like I've got my cousins, I've got my very good friends. We've been like friends for nearly 20 years now.
Yeah.
So we came together from India when we first joined in Royal Devon. So we've got a good support system here. So people do jump in and help, and I help people. So it's really nice. We've got a really good time during holidays, weekends. We've got good beaches here,
Yes.
and it's sunny now these days, except for the last few days.
Yes.
But yeah, the summer's really good.
And how has your son found that adjustment to Devon in terms of his schooling? How has that been?
Initially, I was really scared for him.
Yeah.
I thought he wouldn't adjust because he had very good friends back in India. So I thought he probably wouldn't adjust, or he would say, "Let's go back, mom. I don't want to stay here." But I mean, I was surprised when he said, "I never want to go back." Because he loves his friends here. I mean, he makes new friends. He's a really good boy, but yeah, he makes friends very easy. So he's
And
made really good friends here now.
that's brilliant. And so how old was he when he came over to Devon, Reema?
I guess he was around five
Fine.
and a half. Yeah.
And so registering for a local school, because the education service is free, isn't it, in the
Yeah.
UK?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the registration for schooling and that was all quite straightforward.
That was simple. Yeah, you just need to go through the council, give them, your details, fill a form, tell them which school you would love to your son would go, or which are your preferences. Give them like a couple of preferences, and
Yes.
wherever there's a place, they would allot you, and it's
Yeah.
free. It's free.
Yes. And what would you say about so we've got quite a lot of nurses that are working in Devon now that have come from India.
Mhm.
And how is that sort of that community that's of sort of other Indian nurses and networks? How is that?
Yeah, it's widely growing now. So when we came in, there were not more than 10.
I know.
So now if I go to Tesco's, I can see everybody. I mean,
Yes.
everybody around the street walking, and I can
Yeah.
see very familiar faces. It feels nice.
Yes.
We do have a lot of programs actually. We do, um, we held a lot of parties together. Like
Yes.
we plan parties, some night outs.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Yeah.
And I know that you all support each other so much,
Hmm.
and also any arrivals coming in,
Yeah,
they become part of that network and part of that wider family.
they do. Yeah, we do have a WhatsApp group, and and
Yes.
we do, just start to mingle people in, and share informations. And if there are new jobs coming up, if someone wants to apply for, a bigger post, or if there's something exciting, we'll put it on the group. We'll like tell people,
Yeah, that's
contact. Yeah,
brilliant. And
yeah.
that's so important, isn't it? Because you remember how you felt when you first arrived to Devon, you didn't know anyone other than the other people in the cohort. It can be quite
No,
lonely, can't it?
it was. Fortunately for me, I had my, very good friend, who was like, we were friends from 20 years. So we had each other, but we went through a lot of struggles together. But yeah, otherwise now you've got a very good support system here.
And the other thing that we're asked very often is about the cost of living in terms of rental or buying a property.
Hmm.
How obviously you've got that lived experience of India and now Devon. So how would you sort of compare that?
God, I don't think you can ever compare the living cost in India and here. Given you don't get to, the pay, there's a lot
Yeah.
pay difference,
Yes.
when you compare to India and UK. But I would say the cost of living is ever increasing
Yes.
here. And when I first came in, I think rent was around 500 to 600, but now it's been increasing to 700, 750. But it's still much lower compared to central London.
Yes.
That they cost a fortune actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we are able to save at least minimum of half of what we are earning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically you can, you can have a good quality life on a nurse's salary in Devon.
Yes, it depends on um, how your quality life you describe.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I shop a lot. So every time I go out, I tend to buy a lot of things that I don't actually require.
Yes, I'd fall into that bracket.
So yeah, but I'm still happy with, my savings. I've
Yes.
got I've got a car. I'm not buying a new home, but most of the people who had come with me
Yeah.
have got their homes here. They've secured mortgages. They've got
Yes.
new homes. They've bought a 3 or 4 bedroom house,
Yes.
massive bungalows they live in. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I do want to someday, but not right now.
I know two of the girls that came together bought houses beside each other, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, yeah. And we
Yeah.
all came in together. So
Yeah.
we all have, most of them. I think there are like 4 or 5 people who haven't got their houses, but
Yes.
otherwise, I'm in a process. I'm going to buy it, but not right now.
So we'll be invited to the housewarming party, Reema, when you
Sure,
buy your
I
house.
will. I will, Carly. I will
No.
invite you.
And what about the do you drive? Have you got your own car now?
Yeah, I've got an own
Yes.
car. Yeah, I drive.
And how, I mean, I know what you're going to say because I've been to India. The differences between driving in India to Devon in the UK.
Was it in India? Were you scared?
Little bit.
Little bit. Oh my God, I won't drive in India ever again because I've been driving here, and when I go, because it's the right of way here, isn't it? And then in
Yes.
India, there's no right or no wrong, so people can barge in from anywhere. You need to be really very, very careful looking at all the sides. So it's really scary there. But here, it's really straightforward and easy.
Good, good. Yes,
Yeah.
that's the answer I thought you were going to say. And in Devon, some of the roads are a lot quieter, aren't they? Because it's
Yeah.
quite a rural area.
Oh my God, I love the drives here. I would love to go out for a very long drive and then,
Yes.
yeah, going to
It's,
the sea. It's really nice.
and we're always within about 20 minutes of the beach in Devon, really, aren't we?
Yeah,
20, 30 minutes
we've
wherever
got
you go.
plenty of beaches, beautiful beaches.
And what about sourcing food from home in Devon? Now, I know we have got some international food shops.
Hmm.
How easy or difficult is that to get all the things that you miss?
Earlier days, it was hard. We wouldn't get anything that we need. Like in an Indian kitchen, you would basically need most of the spices,
Yeah,
which I struggle getting it here. We didn't have
yes,
the spices here, so I had to source it from London.
yeah,
So I had to order it online and then get it delivered here.
yeah,
But these days we've got like plenty of shops which are, South Asian or the Indian shops which they have opened, and we get like rice, especially people would understand if I say the boiled rice. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we used to get it online, but now these days it's easy. It's just we have shops in the town, so we
And I think
just go into the shop.
that's a really good reflection of how our international communities are growing because we've got a lot of international food shops now. And like you
Exactly.
said, when you arrived, that was only 3 years ago, there probably wasn't any.
No, there was none actually. There was none. So when we arrived, we had to eat rice from Tesco's, which was like basmati, and basmati rice we'd never use for our daily. It's not. We don't eat it regularly. We
Yeah.
normally eat it with biryani or pulao or something when there's something special. But yeah, so we had to do that for a little while, but then we found out there are shops in London where we can buy online, so we used to do that, and the delivery was next day, so it was really nice. They used to
Great.
give us next day delivery unless it was a weekend order, but these days we have got shops in the town, so we just go and
Yes.
buy them.
And what are your thoughts on English cuisine, English foods?
Oh, well, I love fish and chips.
Yes.
Shepherd's pie is my second favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, cream tea is my third.
Yes. And now come on, Reema, do you know how to do it properly? What goes first?
Well, I'm not going to go into that argument now.
Oh, Reema, I failed.
So I love clotted cream first, and then I like the Devon way. Yeah.
Well done. I can approve that. Now, what about a roast dinner?
Oh, well, I'm not a big
No?
fan of roast dinner. No,
Okay.
no,
No.
I'm sorry, no.
No, that's okay. What about if you tried a pasty?
Pasties, yes. Yeah, I would
Yes.
love that pasties. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess one of my sort of last questions is have you found it easy to practice your faith or religion in Devon in the UK?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not very religious. I tend to go to God when I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but we do have I'm a Catholic by religion, so
Yeah.
we do have a Catholic church here, which is
Yeah.
really walking distance, and it's just in the town.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really, and again, we've got a good support system,
Yeah.
which people do tend to have a lot of prayer groups and other, which I have known, but I have never been a part of it because I'm not that religious.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do have. I was invited, and Muslims, especially if there are any Muslim colleagues or any friends in here, I think they are doing. I think they have, because there are doctors and nurses who are
Yes.
Muslims. So I think they have. There were no mosques here and there's still none. But I think they have managed to make a prayer room where that they
Yes.
can offer prayers. So
Yes.
yeah, it's
No.
kind of yeah.
And I know that I was talking to a charge nurse the other day, and one of his nurses who was Muslim was fasting, and he supported him, and they swapped him to night shifts so that he would sleep during the day during the period of fasting to make things easier. And I thought that's a really good example of how we support our staff
Yeah.
to practice their faith or religion.
What was it from our hospital then?
Yes.
I know whom
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, because
Yeah.
he was one of the international nurses who had arrived, and we were thinking about the fasting thing, and they were
Yes.
like on our website. Um, it it said the communications, they said people to be aware about Muslim colleagues, and they might fast. So we made a point to check into every ward to see who would fast.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
No, that's brilliant. So, looking back over your 3 years, um, are there any, I know you've given tips about the English. What would your top tips be in general about nurses that are thinking of coming to Devon?
Right. Be strong. Right. Um, do everything that you can. Like food, you might miss Indian food here. So yeah, if you are a fan of Indian street foods, eat a lot of Indian street food because you wouldn't get that in here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, just be close to your family, because that's the most thing that, I mean, you'll be missing the most here when you arrive here. You'll be thinking about your family. So spend some very good quality time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we introduce the nurses before they arrive in a group. So if they're all arriving together in May, we introduce them quite a while before they arrive in a WhatsApp
Yeah.
group, so they can start to make
Yeah.
those other friendships, because that
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
I say to them, that would be your new family in Devon for the first few
Yeah.
months.
Very true.
And they've got, you know, the likes of you out there in the clinical areas supporting them as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got good support if you've come to not Devon. I can't talk about any other trust because
Yeah.
well, I believe there are,
Yeah.
because we've got good recruiting system now. People have been coming from overseas, and
Yeah.
we've got plenty of overseas nurses working in the UK now. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know you're here from sort of Royal Devon University Healthcare Trust, but we've got people in similar roles in Plymouth and in Torbay, you know, and it's really great now that we have support our international nurse colleagues coming into work, because it wasn't very long ago where we didn't have roles like yourself, and it is absolutely so important
Yeah.
that we do. Okay, Reema, I'm all out of questions, so I'm just going to go round to Laura and Tracy just to see if they've got anything they'd like to ask you.
Oh, I think you covered everything really. I mean, I'm quite curious about schooling because my little girl is just starting school in September. So I just wondered, how has your son sort of like found the British culture and the change with, you know, making the friends and, you know, the school lunches and things like that. How has he found that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He used to eat rice a lot
Yeah.
when back in India. So once he started here, he loves fish and chips.
Yeah.
And he loves pizzas, which they give in school. So, and jacket potato. So yeah,
Okay.
he asked me to make jacket potato for him every time for dinner. I'm like, you have that in school, and he's like, no, I want my jacket potato. So yeah, that's his comfort food now. He's been
That's
adjusting
great.
really well, bless him.
That sounds amazing. No, I love that. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks, Laura.
Tracy?
Yeah, I'm just typing in a couple of the answers there into the questions. But Reema, you know, it's fabulous to have you on the call. It really is. And you know, when we've met many of the people on the call today in the colleges through India as we were doing our road trip. But so I'm going to be completely biased now, and I'm going to say to you, would you recommend Devon to all of your colleagues that are on the call today?
Absolutely, definitely.
Fabulous.
There's
And would
no
you
place like
recommend the Devon
Devon.
Alliance?
I would, yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're very grateful for you to talk about your experience, and
Thank
you know, we
you.
know how it is difficult, isn't it? And it's such a big decision for
Yeah.
you know, people to make that decision to leave their families and loved ones behind initially, you know, to come to a new country, into a new healthcare system, and to be meeting new friends. It is really daunting, and I think you're all absolutely amazing to be, you know, to have considered that. And here you are, Reema, doing really well in your career, which is delightful. And I know only last week we were interviewing for a senior pastoral role at one of
Yes,
the hospitals,
we
at
were
your
there. Yeah.
hospital, wasn't it?
At
Yeah.
my hospital. Yeah, you were
That's
there.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And Reema was there again talking about her experiences and asking the questions for, you know, for this senior position, which is, it's so important. And it's, you know, it's really great for you to, you know, to share your thoughts, etc. But we're hoping, you know, many of you will come and join us. You know, we really do pride ourselves in terms of the pastoral support, and you know, just who we are as a family, you know, in Devon. We absolutely make sure that, you know, your requirements and your needs are really taken care of, because that is what is really important, you know. And I know Carly and Laura and the team do a lot of fantastic support before, you know, this is part of it now, you know, before you come into the UK. but even when you've gone through an interview process, you know, an application process, it's all of that pastoral support before you arrive, meeting your new cohorts and your new colleagues, you know, that you'll be coming into Devon with. And then obviously the support in the hospital, that's, you know, the pastoral lead, the clinical education lead, your ward managers, and then we're also providing that support as well when you're here, and that's recognised quite a lot locally as well as nationally now in terms of the support that we give, and it's so important, isn't it? You know, it really is. If we were leaving to go to another country, we would want the support and to be looked after and taken care of, and to feel assured, you know, that you're making the right decision for your families and loved ones as well. So it's really exciting times, it is. And Reema, thank you so much. And you know, this is just the start of a few of our webinars, isn't it, Carly?
Yeah. So yeah, part 1, and then we're going to be doing a webinar on NMC registration, tips to get through your OET or your IELTS, and a few other things yet to be revealed. So watch this space. So I'm just going to go round to Emily. Any other questions from you?
Well, I was just going to ask you, Reema, as we're so obsessed with the weather in this country and we have such a different climate to you, and your climate, well, the climate in India is much nicer. I just wondered what your favourite season was.
It's always summer.
Summer, okay.
It's always summer because I can spend lots of time in the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't mind the winter though because I can sleep, you know.
Yeah.
I love to sleep. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the season,
But
it's
I
nice
love
to
all
have
the
different
seasons.
seasons, isn't it? It's like the winter's nice because
Yeah.
you get cozy
It's
evenings and
really,
you know,
yeah.
it's nice.
It's
Yeah.
very cold in winter and
Yeah.
nice and warm in summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't like the rains though.
No.
No, I can't.
No.
No.
I was
Kind of get upset when it rains.
I was talking to someone the other day, one of our international nurses, and they said that they didn't realise when they arrived in the winter to the UK that it would get dark at 3 p.m. And then I thought, my goodness, yeah, that must be quite a shock, and we completely
Mm.
overlook that fact.
Yeah.
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 And it's the little things like that. But Anand, any questions that we haven't asked that come to you quite often?
Yeah, thank you, Reema, and thank you for sharing all the knowledge you gathered for the past 3.5 years. Okay, so most of the time, you know, candidate comes to us, and what they actually want to know is what does happens from the moment they arrive in the UK till the moment they get the pin from the NMC. So can you just brief them quickly what happens in between?
Okay, so we've got our new arrivals today. So yeah, we've getting. I think there are 6 people arriving today. Yeah, so our taxis has gone to pick them up. So they will be here probably by 3 p.m. ish. Yeah. So clinical tutors. So I belong to a clinical training team. So that's our team. I don't mainly deal with international nurses, but we've got our team members who deal with the international nurses. So they go and receive them, not from the airport. We've got the taxi drivers to receive them from the airport. But yeah, when they arrive in North Devon, we've got the accommodation. So it's all sorted before they come in here. So we tend to sort their ID badges, their accommodations, and the uniforms and everything, and we tend to make their induction pack and everything ready. Most of the times it's all ready before they land here. So once it's all they have arrived, we welcome them, sort of give them a quick introduction to where things are, what to do in emergency, like where the hospital or the emergency department is, if overnight, if they need to get into touch with the doctors if there's something emergency conditions. And of course we do have one work phone which we carry for 72 hours when the international nurses arrive. It's just for first 72 hours that we carry. And we also tend to give them a local SIM card. local SIM card. So we normally give them a local SIM card, and they need to top it up when need to speak to the families. But obviously, it's easy. It's easy here. It's not like very difficult topping things. So, but most important thing is when they arrive here, we make them feel comfortable, and we have a small package, a lung, where we give them some food items that they can use for the next couple of days. We also give them vouchers for the canteen so that they can have some hot meals. And yeah, that's it. We leave them for the day because they'll be exhausted by the travel.
Yes.
The next day, one of our colleagues will take them to the town. We'll open the bank accounts, which is really important again, because you need pay, you need your
Yes.
money to be in the bank. So open the bank accounts, GP registration, and show them the town, to show them where to buy grocery stuff, because you can't take all the you can't bring groceries in the
No.
aeroplane with you. So we show them everything, and the third day we do all the induction checklists. We try and sort their IT stuff in.
Yeah.
Once that's all done, they go, and we leave them for the weekend. I guess, yeah, they'll be free for the weekend. They can do whatever they want over the weekend, and sort of we still have carry our phones with us. If they are in need, they will call us. And I think it depends from arrival to arrival. It depends when we tend to book their OSCE. Sometimes we do book their OSCEs because it just runs, they have their own timetable. So we look at the timetables and book their OSCE. So they'll have an intensive 3 weeks OSCE training. So during that time, they wouldn't go to the wards to work. So it's just OSCEs for 3 weeks. So once the OSCE is done, and it depends on the availability of the exam centers. So we tend to send people to Oxford or Swindon for the exams. Or sometimes if we don't get the nearest possible date, we send them to Leeds. Once all that is done, they write the exams, they have enough study leaves and everything in between, they come back to work in the wards.
Yep.
So then we'll go and introduce them. So most of the wards have some of the wards, not most, have their clinical educators, and we introduce the clinical educators or the line managers, and then they get a period of supernumerary. It should be, I think, nearly a month or two until they get their PIN. So they might pass OSCEs, but getting a PIN would take around a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, until then they will work as a supernumerary. They will be on a band 4, I believe.
Yeah.
They'll be working on a band 4 and assisting a nurse and seeing how, there are different nurses working different ways. So they will get to work with different nurses on each shift, but we tend to buddy them with a senior nurse, or a nurse who has been in this country for a little while, so that they know, they are easy, they can communicate, they can open up quickly or easily. And yeah, once they receive their PIN, they fly solo. They need to do all their competencies, of course, like they get oral meds and IV medication. So completing all the competencies that will lie with the manager. Yeah. So I think, yeah, that's it. Sometimes you don't get the times for OSCEs, and once they land in here, we don't have the OSCE bookings immediately. They might have to wait for 2 weeks. So for those 2 weeks, they might go to the wards and have they have a trust induction week for a week. So once they finish it, they go to the wards, have a little look around in the wards, work on a 12-hour shift. That can be a little difficult because people in India normally don't work 12-hour shift unless it's a night.
Right, okay.
So yeah, so they tend to just give them days and night shifts to see what differences. Some people tend to like night shifts more, and they can. Managers are really very good here. So if they request that they do not want night shifts, but yeah, it's very good to experiment new things.
Yes. Thank you, Reema.
Thank you.
Anything else, Anand? Any other common questions that you can think of?
Yeah, Carly, that is one. So can you, because these are new nurses, right? They are getting to know what's awaiting in the UK. Can you just explain them what is pastoral support and what Devon is providing in the pastoral support?
Yeah,
Right.
so so pastoral support is it's a word not known in India. We've just discovered, Reema. And we're thinking, so we've got a booklet called the Pastoral Passport. We're thinking of relabeling it. So
Yeah.
in terms of pastoral support, how would you describe that, Reema? What does that mean to our nurses on the call?
So I'm not a pastoral nurse. So I'm just a clinical tutor, but we've got a very good nurse, but she's not working today.
Yeah.
So she's called Jo Gabriel.
Yeah.
She is a international nurse. International. How do I put it? Well, it's a bit difficult. So she's a pastoral. She provides pastoral support
Yes.
and does mainly deals with the international recruited nurses. Um, she's kind of she's a very good lady if you need to, just very approachable. So people, new nurses on the wards, if they have got into any troubles personally, professionally, if they have any troubles, they kind of go to her and say, Jo, I've got this trouble, can you please help me out? And
Yeah.
she jumps in, no matter, uh, she tries to link in with different people and try to solve their problems.
Yeah, and no, absolutely, and it's really important to have that person. And I know in
Yeah.
the other hospitals in Devon there is someone in the same role, but what we do as a Devon Alliance is before nurses arrive, that pastoral support. So the pastoral support is all about well-being of the nurses,
Yeah.
the emotional well-being, spiritual, and we really start that integration process before nurses arrive to Devon through. We've got some educational webinars. We've got some educational pathways. We've got the pastoral passport. Like I said, we're probably going to reterm that. And that's all about reducing your anxieties before you get here. So
Yeah.
you know more. You're
Yeah.
introduced to your manager before you get here. So reduce anxieties, be there to answer any questions. There's no stupid question at all, and we
No.
will answer any questions that you've got. So that's what the sort of pastoral support is. And as a Devon Alliance, we also keep in touch with you once you've arrived to see how you're getting on. And it's almost having an informal way of describing it. It's like having an adopted auntie that you can tend to. Would you agree with that, Reema?
I would say a mom, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I normally say to Jo that, oh, she's being a mummy again. So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
And it's like that, and that nurturing part
nurturing. Yeah,
is, yeah, it's so important, particularly when people are so far from home when they first get here. So
yeah.
does that help, Anand? Yeah. Great. Right. Okay. I think we're just gonna come to the end now. We've had taken our full hour, and we've had a few questions. I know Tracy's been answering the questions. Thank you. So we are going to be recording this webinar again in a week's time, and hopefully some more of you will dial in. Just going to take a quick screenshot. So could everybody smile a cheesy grin for me, please?
Yes, can they put the cameras on?
I
Carl, is
don't
the
know if they
cameras on or?
can.
I've taken it off
nurse,
block, so if you can.
brilliant. Nurses, are you able to, those that have dialed in, are you able to put your cameras on so we can see your lovely faces?
Need turning the cameras on, they've all gone shy.
Yeah, I just put it in the cameras on. Can some of you put your cameras on, please? Oh,
I don't know if we can do it, can we? Or yeah,
No,
I
we
don't think we
can't.
can we? Yeah.
They're
no.
all very shy, probably.
Very
Yeah.
shy.
Or I've
Never
stunned them
learned
to
it.
silence.
No.
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
Annette!
well done.
Well done. You're the first one. We're not going to put you on the spot. So come on, Annette's put her camera on. Can some more of you put your cameras on so we can see your smiley faces?
We want to do a big group photo if we can. That's what would be good.
Here we go.
Oh, here we are.
Leah, well done,
Leah.
Leah. Excellent.
Any more? I don't know if it gets everybody on the screen, does it? Or
Only the sort of the name bubbles.
I think it is. Yes. Yeah. Is anybody? Yep.
Any more ladies and gents going to put the camera on?
No. No more.
Okay, I will take one. So
Yeah.
3, 2, 1,
2, 1.
cheese. Lovely. Thank you very much. Right. Thank you so much for listening and dialing in. Again, a huge thank you to Reema, our
Thank you,
expert
Reema.
in this
Yeah.
field.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's been lovely to catch up with you again and see how far you've come and to share your story will really be inspirational to the nurses that are joining. So we're going to be meeting up with you again in a week's time, Reema, aren't we?
Yeah.
Lovely.
I need to mark
Brilliant.
my calendar again. Yeah.
Yes.
I shall do that.
Lovely. Right. Thank you very much, ladies and Anand.
Thank you,
And we
everyone.
will we'll see you all soon. Take care, everybody.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, somebody's got